Hey guys, welcome back as always. My name is Leyzar, and today we're going to be talking about the Abyss of Dagath, a short recap on what we know. The Abyss of the what now? The Abyss of Dagath is a huge mainline update coming to Warframe this year, and there's a ton of content promised by the developer. The information has been spread out in more recent forum posts and at TennoCon 2023. Luckily, I compiled all that information, so let's get right into it. First of all, we're going to be getting the 54th Warframe, Dagath. Now, Dagath is themed after a headless horseman, Ichabod Crane, Sleepy Hollow-ish theme, and we know we're going to be getting a brand new storytelling from Grandmother. Apparently, Dagath and the whole update will be centered around horror and the whole Halloween theme. We're also going to be getting a new crypt-like dojo room. This room is actually her tomb, Dagath's tomb, and this was confirmed by the Rebecca at TennoCon 2023.
It's going to bring our first sort of horror-themed dojo room as well, which will allow you to build her crypt in your dojo, and you'll be treated, you'll be treated to some narrative from Grandmother from Deimos. She has a story about Dagath and might have an origin for how Dagath got her name.
I can't wait to see it, how it will tie into the lore and to Grandmama's story. Now I got a sneaking suspicion it will be required for the acquisition of Dagath, which might elongate the whole farm time, but I guess time will tell. In any case, I prefer Warframe launches to be like this, when you get a little bit of a story, maybe a small cutscene that integrates the Warframe better in the whole lore of Warframe. Coming up next, brand new Prime Warframe. Were you guys expecting Grendel Prime? Yeah, most of us were not expecting Grendel Prime. We were expecting Gauss Prime, but we're gonna be getting Grendel. He's gonna be coming with the Masseter Prime and the Zylok Prime. Masseter haven't really used all that much, but I do love the kebab stick aesthetic, so therefore kebab stick Prime. As for the Zylok has historically been a pretty meh weapon. Initially we got it when we rebuilt a relay, it was meh, and then the changes came and it was less than meh. And now we got an Incarnate Genesis adapter that makes a big bada boom explosion on the secondary fire rate, and that one had line of sight and then they fixed it, but you still don't get multi-shot for the explosion. And I know that whole segment was a bit awkward, but that's the state of the Zylok. Currently, we're going to be getting a Prime. Keep in mind that when it comes to incarnate weapons nowadays, you can pluck out the Genesis adapter and stick it into another weapon, so you don't need to reform that adapter necessarily. However, you will need the resources again. As for Grendel right now in the meta, he's doing significantly better than he was before Pablo's rework. But to be fair, he was one of the worst Warframes in the game back then. Nowadays, however, people like him a whole lot more. He's very tanky, very chunky, he's easier to move around, they did fantastic usability changes to him, but most Tennos simply take him, chuck him in the helmet system and use his ability Nourish on all of their builds, or whatever build you need to get some vital on. It's a huge advantage because you no longer need to build vital on weapons and instead you can get it from Nourish. Then again, it is a sacrifice because you're not going to be using another helmet ability. More details on this topic in the cards right now. Tentacle Daddy Rework. Hydroid Rework is coming with the huge Abyss of Dagath patch. Oh my god, there's so much content in this one. Hydroid for the longest time has been a Warframe that most players simply ignore because whatever Hydroid can do, some other Warframe can do better. Back in the day of Kuva survival farming, Hydroid was a good alternative to Necros. You didn't have a Necros, then you had to have a Hydroid with Pilfering Swarm. So what I did, which I do have a whole lot of gameplay time on him, I would make myself into a big puddle, just channel my tentacles and chill out at the extraction point. And that was kind of it. It was quite effective and you were helping out your teammate by getting that extra life support.
He's going to be streamlined, we're going to change one of his abilities, we're going to change his passive. We'll show full details next dev stream. We're gonna do the full dive in.
Next on the agenda, we got accessibility plus HUD changes. Auto melee. Ooh, disgusting. I'm gonna break off into a rant now. The melee system in Warframe has been consistently and deliberately dumbed down for years, down to the point where you get to spam a single button and you are fully capable of clearing the quote-unquote hardest difficulty mode in Warframe. I'm talking about Steel Path. This coupled together with the fact that we are going to be getting Warframe on mobile starting in 2024 on iOS, no word on Android, and auto melee makes a whole lot more sense. It is my belief that the developer worked towards this goal for a very long time, and I would have preferred if they were a bit more honest about it. Obviously, this is not a direction I wanted to see the game take. I wanted to see the melee system be a bit more complex, taking it towards the spectacle fighter sort of things and not cater it to mobile players. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Next up, enemy visibility settings. Essentially, we're going to be able to color our enemies, maybe give them some sort of aura, halo, or contour around them so they are a bit more visible. That is an issue in Warframe. New player experience changes, Wave Rider quest. Have you guys completed the Wave Rider quest for Yareli? I haven't. I legitimately haven't, and I'm still not gonna, because Yareli right now is in a not the best place in Warframe. She's basically in the place that Grendel was before the rework. Universal enemy radar, we also got rough edges and general quality of life changes to focus acquisition, Nightwave axe, and etc. And on these topics, we don't have a whole lot of information, but hopefully the dev stream on September the 28th will bring more info. I'm interested in that whole Nightwave axe section. Are they gonna be simplifying Nightwave even more? Are we gonna be getting stories back with it? Probably not. The last topic which I want to touch on, and this one's a biggie, Companion Rework, and I believe this one is sorely overdue. For years in Warframe, we haven't really been using most of our companions, and the gameplay that we have with them isn't something that's engaging or exciting by any stretch of the imagination. Use the Smidakavat because you get a charm buff. Use the Panzerwulpefeila because it applies vital procs to your enemies, or use an Undying Sentinel, for example the Djinn, because you get the benefit of the Vigilante set from the mods on his weapons. It's not overly exciting. However, this Companion Rework promises more engaging gameplay. We're going to be getting new mods, and apparently our gameplay style will have an effect on what the Companion does. This was discussed again at TennoCon 2023.
Basically, they're no longer going to die. Now they're going to get just incapacitated, and after a little bit, they get up. Overall, we're increasing their effective health by about 50%, something like that. And we're adding a whole bunch of new mods that basically increase how much you can kind of interact with them and how much you kind of cooperate with your companions.
I think the thesis for that is your gameplay will affect their return to battle. If they do get incapacitated, it's all about what you're doing when you're, in combos is going to actually impact your bond with your companion.
My primary interest, however, is in the artificial intelligence of the companions, because you see right now, and this has always been the case in Warframe, you can be next to an enemy and he will hammer away at you for 30 minutes to try to get to kill you, while your companion will be sitting there like this, waiting for you to die, essentially. So when you see this from an outside perspective, especially if you don't know a whole lot about Warframe, it looks kind of whack, and you're like, hey, why are you even playing that? Why is she staying there? What's going on? Hopefully all of these issues will be ironed out. Hopefully all of the companions will be usable. We know they're gonna be more sturdier, and we know they want to remove permadeath from companions, which is an absolutely fantastic idea, and I cannot wait to see it. Hopefully this whole companion rework will play into the same way the helmet system played into. Perhaps now choosing your companion will actually have a huge effect on the build. It still has to this day, especially if you take into account the Panzerwulpefeila, but outside of that, not so much. I want to be able to use all of my companions, and I want them to have a significant impact on my gameplay and my build. Because if I'm completely honest, I even forgot there are certain companions in the game. For example, last week I told people, hey, get the Prisma Shade because it's the best version of the Shade, which is not true. We actually have a Prime variant, which I do have. I just completely forgot about it. But I do believe, my friends, that is pretty much it. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys next time with more Warframe. Bye.